Thank you very much, John. We're fortunate having this beautiful day here at the memorial, and I wish to welcome you all here. Glad you could come out on this morning. And we begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of this land, the Ngunnawal and the Ngambri people, and we thank them for looking after it, and especially for this beautiful location that we're very fortunate to be able to use for this purpose here. This is our annual gathering. We started having gatherings here every year around this time for the last, I think 10 years or so, when we were able to mark the anniversary of this great tragedy that we're all witness to as we come here. The 353 lives that were lost on 19th of October. Tomorrow is the actual anniversary. And we come here every year to remember those people who were lost. And we also remember the families of those who were lost. And we've had some recent contact from some of the family members. Just a year ago, the parents of one young man who was lost came with his photo to put on one of the poles down there. It's getting pretty faded, so we'll probably have to replace it soon for them if they want us to do that. But you can see that photo as you're walking. His name was Bashar Nazar, and he was trying to come to join his family here in Australia and lost his life. They believe he was on the SIEV X. Just a week or so ago, we were contacted by a Canadian woman who said that her husband was a young boy on the SIEV X and he survived it, but his mother and siblings didn't. And she was wondering if there were poles here, and we fortunately found there's 4 poles down there belonging to his family, the Fauzi family. You can have a look at them down there. So we took a photo of those and sent them to her to share with her husband so that they know that his family are remembered here. We also want to honor the founders of the memorial, whose names are here, Steve, Rod, and Beth. And we thank them for the initiative and the foresight to create this great memorial, in which affects so many people who come to visit it in so many ways. And Steve and Rod and Beth have asked us to take over the responsibility for them. So that's why we've set up the association that many of you are members of. If you're not, please speak to Lauren, our secretary, and she can tell you about being a member of the association. Okay, good. And we also want to honor, by coming here, the donors of these poles. There's 287 poles here from churches, schools, community groups, and families from all around Australia, which is a wonderful testimony to the idea that some Australians care enough about people who are trying to come here. So we honor them for that too. We have we've pledged, part of the association's purposes, to maintain this memorial. How long? We've been in discussions with conservators and other experts as how long can this stay here? How long will the government allow it to be here? Yes, we have a license to have the memorial in place until 2029. 2029. They've extended that for the last, I think, in 5-year segments, so hopefully that we'll be able to keep extending it. The permission from the ACT government to have the memorial here, and we have the license for it. We've also taken over the ownership of the poles, haven't we? Formally, we actually own the poles. The association does, all of us. Which I guess means if they tell us to remove it, we'd all have to come here and chain ourselves to one and say, no, we won't take it out.
Find photo of their walkers and their crutches.
Do that, yes. So we want to thank especially the volunteers who come here to work on maintaining the memorial. You can see part of the license of having the memorial here is to keep the grass around the memorial down. Park Service, of course, does most of it, but we have to cut inside here and remove weeds, that sort of thing. But also painting the poles and especially restoring the artwork, which is really a tricky job. And we have 4 people who regularly come to work on the restoring the artwork on the poles. Wilma and Warwick are 2 of them who are here today, and I especially want to thank them for that effort, which is wonderful. They enjoy it. So Wilma hasn't been able to come for a while, and she's sorry about that. She wishes she could be here more often now, but she'll be back soon. 3 more weeks, okay, great. So that's wonderful, the work of the volunteers. But we recognize that the memorial is really a living installation, isn't it? That it's something that's here, and it's as relevant now as when it was created. So that it helps us to remind us that refugees are a part of our shared community. Some of us sort of claim a bit of refugee status ourselves. And we have friends and family who may be refugees, have sought safety here in Australia, generations past or more recently. So it's an important way of reminding us and the community that refugees are an important part of our community. And so we also then realize we have to be vigilant to protect the rights of refugees and asylum seekers. And that's part of our connection then to Canberra Refugee Action, and also to support refugees in our community. We have connections with Canberra Refugee Support, Doug here, John with Canberra Refugee Action, and Sophie, and also with St. Vincent de Paul and Companion House and others that are helping refugees in our community. So we want to remember that connection too. So I would invite you this morning. We have a morning tea at the picnic ground at the inn. So you have to walk there, or you could get in your car and drive if you want. But I encourage you to walk along the poles and maybe take notice of a pole that means that you find especially meaningful to you today. See if you can remember the name on the pole. Most of them, of course, up there are all unknown. We don't have all of the names. But if you maybe remember the artwork and the donor of the pole, and that's something you can talk about when we get to the other end, if you wish, with somebody else up there. That's just something. And if you've brought some flowers or rosemary sprigs or wattle, you're welcome to leave them on one of the poles or at the base of the pole as a sign of remembrance. There's some there if you'd like to take some. There, yes, that would be fine to have that. So, and I'd invite you now to begin walk. Oh, there's quite a lot there, isn't there? Thank you for bringing all of those. That's lots of rosemary. That's wonderful. And you're welcome to leave it at one of the poles along the way, and we'll all gather at the far end. And thank you very much for coming.